What if I told you the NBA Finals matchup everybody expected is not the one we got, because most people thought we were headed toward Knicks versus Thunder, the defending champs, the #1 seed, the team everybody spent all year calling the future of the NBA. Instead, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs just walked into Oklahoma City, won a Game 7 in a hostile environment, and completely changed the finals. And honestly, Knicks fans, I think this might be the best thing that could have happened for New York. The opponent is finally set. The New York Knicks will face the San Antonio Spurs in the 2026 NBA Finals. And honestly, I don't think enough people realize how insane this matchup actually is. Because this is not just Knicks versus Spurs, this feels like the past, present, and future of the NBA colliding all at once. Think about everything attached to this series. The Knicks have not won a championship since 1973. They haven't even been to the finals since 1999. And who beat them in 1999? The Spurs. Now, 27 years later, they meet again. You literally could not write a better script, but here's where it gets interesting, because everybody spent the last few weeks talking about Oklahoma City. The Thunder were supposed to be the team in the finals, the defending champions, the favorites, the future, and then San Antonio shocked them. Game 7 on the road, season on the line, and they got it done, which brings me to the biggest question. Is this actually a better matchup for the Knicks? And I think there's a real argument that it is. Now, don't get me wrong, the Spurs are dangerous, extremely dangerous. Victor Wembanyama is playing like an alien right now. He just won Western Conference Finals MVP and has looked like one of the most dominant players in basketball throughout the playoffs, and he's just 22 years old, which is the craziest part. But here's the thing, the Knicks have already seen this team before, not years ago, this season in the NBA Cup Final. And what happened? The Knicks won. New York already proved that they can beat San Antonio when they're fully healthy on a huge stage, and that's important. Because now this is not some type of mystery opponent. The Knicks know what they're looking at. Mike Brown knows what he's looking at. Jalen Brunson knows what he's looking at. And speaking of Brunson, I think this series comes down to him more than anybody. Because everybody's talking about Wemby, the Spurs, and about San Antonio's future dynasty. But let me ask you something. Who has actually been the best player in the Eastern Conference playoffs this season? And that is Jalen Brunson. The guy has been absolutely ridiculous. And because the Knicks swept Cleveland, they've had extra rest while San Antonio had to survive a brutal 7-game war against Oklahoma City. That matters a lot, especially this late in the season. The other thing nobody is talking about is pressure, and everybody assumes the pressure is on the Knicks. I actually disagree. The pressure is on San Antonio because right now the national conversation is all about Wembanyama, the next face of the NBA, the next dynasty, the next great Spurs era. Those expectations are massive. Meanwhile, the Knicks have embraced the underdog role all postseason, and they're still winning. In fact, New York enters the finals riding an 11-game playoff winning streak. Think about how crazy that really is. The hottest team in basketball, the best momentum in basketball, and somehow people are still picking against them. Honestly, that's exactly where the Knicks want to be, because this team has been overlooked all season. People doubted the Brunson signing, people doubted the Bridges trade, people doubted the Villanova chemistry, and people doubted whether this roster could actually contend. Now they are 4 wins away from a championship, and that's why I think today's biggest takeaway is simple. Stop worrying about who the Knicks are playing, start appreciating what the Knicks have become. Because this is not some Cinderella run anymore, this is not luck, this is not a fluke, the Knicks earned this. And now they have a chance to finish one of the greatest stories in franchise history. 27 years after losing to the Spurs in the finals, they get another shot. This time, they might be ready. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and sub to the channel for more Knicks news and updates you'll not want to miss. It's been KNYT here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.